this video, we're headed to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee to the Spring Rod Run. This is an outstanding event that always has a huge turnout of hot rods, rat rods, vintage race cars, gassers, pro street cars, just a little bit of everything lining the streets of a tourist town. It's one of the coolest events out there, and I want to show you some of the highlights. Sure, there's things that I missed, but there's plenty of other videos on the internet that show you every detail about it. I'm just covering the things that caught my attention. Let's take a look. Now, a lot of people go to the Pigeon Forge Rod Run and they never actually go to the car show that's associated with this event. They just hang out on the parkway and check out all the cool cars on the strip. But the actual show takes place at the LeConte Center, and it's amazing. There's a lot of good cars, tons of vendors, a lot of good stuff to see. It's well worth the price of admission to walk around and check out some of that stuff. And the first thing we walked up on was this chopped and channeled Model A sedan, and this thing is outrageously low. It's got huge Excelsior radial tires on it that stand almost as tall as the roof, and you can see right down the end to the interior area. It's got a lot of custom details. And then, of course, up front, it's got a Ford flathead V8, aluminum cylinder heads, multiple carburetors, a lot of neat pieces here, and some lake-style headers. This is a crazy-looking hot rod that takes some styling cues from rat rods, but you'll see there's nothing ratty about this car. It is a show-quality build. Next up is another high-end show car. This is Chris Ryan's '56 Continental Mark II. This is a highly customized car. You'll see it sitting flat on the ground. It's got an amazing paint job on it, wide interior with a really crazy-looking gauge setup, crazy steering wheel, crazy everything on this car. But probably my favorite part of this whole thing was the tires and wheels. So this thing's got like a 20 or 22 inch wheel, and the black part is the tire, but the white part that looks like a white wall is made into the billet wheel. It's genius. It looks so cool, and it definitely fits the theme with this high-end custom. Now here's an interesting one. This is a 1959 Simca. This is a French-built car, and it kind of reminds me of a Hillman. It's very small, very compact, and this thing has got a really cool looking Pro Street style build. It's got a small block Chevy engine in the front of it. Obviously, they've had to build a chassis underneath this thing. It's sitting flat on the ground thanks to air suspension, and it's got a set of rocket wheels on there that look really cool. They're tucked way up under the fender wells. Just a neat looking combination that definitely grabbed my attention because it's not just another Camaro or Tri-5 Chevy, and there was obviously a lot of time spent to get it to this point. Pigeon Forge is kind of known for its pro street builds. You'll see a bunch of them here, more so than when you go to like a Good Guys show or NSRA show. And it's still in style. People still love them. You gotta love big tires and big motors. And this Dodge Charger is a great example. Under the hood, look at this thing. Blown Hemi with blacked out pieces. This is such a cool build. It's got a super bright color, black wheels with giant rear tires tucked up under the back of it. It's got a roll bar in there, custom bucket seats, a lot of custom details on the interior, that console and dash panel, that's all custom built. And you'll see that anything that's not that bright fluorescent color is done in satin black. So this thing's got a really wild look. It's got a pretty cool stance, and it got a lot of attention. Here's another Pro Street car. This is a 41 Willys Coupe, and this is the ultimate setup for a Pro Street build. These cars just look so cool, either as a gasser or a Pro Street car, but this one, you can look under the hood. It's got a Ramjet 502 big block. It's got a killer stance. It's got American Racing polished wheels on it, and that flame job is really cool too, where the under layer of paint has a cool gradient fade job. It's got some pretty tasteful details. Obviously, it's a show car, so it has some impractical details, but it's a pretty cool piece. Now here's a pretty rare car. This is a 1953 Nash Healey. Now these things were pretty rare to begin with. Only 507 Nash Healeys were produced, and they say that only about 100 of them are believed to exist today. And you'll see this one has a very interesting look. That elegant body style has a satin paint job, which is not normal of the 1950s. I'm not sure if that was original to the car, if that's how it was originally finished, or if somebody decided to do it this way. Either way, this car has an absolutely cool look. It's got wide white walls. It's got some wire wheel simulated hubcaps, and a lot of great details inside and out. You can see the sculpted body lines are just really cool. A lot of rounded edges, but also a lot of custom trim pieces as well that just kind of add to the whole setup here. We look inside of it, and it's got some rich burgundy leather interior. A lot of pieces that were carryover items from American cars, like that inline 6-cylinder engine. That's not a highly exotic setup, but this thing is extremely rare, very valuable car, and really cool to see in amongst all the other hot rods and customs. All right, here's another pro street build, this time a 68 to 72 Nova. You can see he's got some big tires on the back of it. It's got bead locks, killer looking stance, and the paint on this car was incredible. All black. You can see they've blacked out all the trim, they blacked out the bumpers. This thing is slick and very nicely done. We see it's got bucket seats and a B&M shifter in there. And then under the hood, it's got a big block Chevy, aluminum heads. It's got some pretty serious looking components here, but very simple. Not a whole lot of flashy stuff, just some thin aluminum valve covers, aluminum radiator. This thing looks like it's built to be used and abused. Here's another wild custom, a 59 Cadillac, and typically those giant fins are the focal point for these cars, but for this one, it's the roof. First of all, they chopped the top on this thing and lowered that roof line beautifully, and then look at this elaborate paintwork. The layers, the depth, and the gloss on this is just so cool. The rest of the car is done in a satin orange finish. This thing has custom interior, custom wheels, slam stance. It is so cool. And by the way, that's a 59 Chevy dash in there. Here's another heavily customized build. This is a 64 to 66 Chevrolet truck. You can see this thing has got a slammed stance. The back tires and wheels are tucked way up under there. Big wheel tubs, side exit exhaust, and the chopped top on this thing is very tastefully done. You can see it's wedge chopped to be very aggressive, and they've done serious work up here on the front. Usually these hoods are giant, and they've actually sliced this hood to be much more slim, leaving the front fenders to have this sculpted shape. Really crazy. And then we got a big block Chevy with stacked fuel injection poking right out of the hood. Crazy looking combination, and you'll see on the driver's side here that it's got suicide doors. This thing has got a ton of work done to it and is finished out very nicely. Outside of the LeConte Center, there was a lot of cool stuff too, including this really crazy Volkswagen bus. Now, this is built by Speedycop, and he's known for unusual builds. He'll build a vehicle that looks like it's upside down, but you can drive it normally, or something like this that the bottom is just completely cut off of. He builds some crazy stuff, and this thing got a ton of attention. The paint was fresh on it. It looked real nice and slick, and you can't argue with the wow factor on something like this. Even though Pigeon Forge is known for its pro street builds, there's a lot of high-end, high-horsepower street cars that show up too, and this is a great example. This Pontiac Firebird has a twin turbocharged LS motor in it. You can see it's got 17-inch front runners on it, bead locks on the back, cool paint job, tinted windows. This thing has got a killer bad street car look, and I'm sure it runs good too. Now this next one is less of a street car. This looks like a full-on race car. 68 to 72 Nova. You can see they've got a black painted top, tinted windows, bright red paint, and up front is a big block Chevy with an absolutely giant single turbocharger and an absolutely killer stance. You see the bead locks in the back with drag radials, 17-inch front runners, bullhorn exhaust, the air dam in the front, sheet metal wing in the back with a parachute. This thing is just bad to the bone. You never know what's going to pull up or drive by at the Pigeon Forge Rod Run, and this is a perfect example. This is a mid-30s Ford truck cab, and you can see it's got a tandem rear axle setup, completely custom frame, and then that roof on the back. I'm not sure what's going on there, but it is a crazy combination that turned heads everywhere. Obviously those open headers and a big block Chevy, that'll turn heads too, but this thing had just a wild and crazy look. Next up is a 53 Chevy Gasser. And this thing's got a slick black paint job with blue metal flake on the roof. Good looking combination. Out back it's got Firestone cheater slicks with Krager wheels. Very nicely radiused quarter panels on this thing. You'll see that somebody has rubbed on this car a lot. And under the hood, a very unusual engine combination for a Chevrolet at least. This thing's got a MOPAR engine. Looks to be a 440, tunnel ram, 2.4s. It's got all your normal Gasser stuff, fender well headers. It's got skinny Kragers on the front with bias ply tires. Big old tall stance, no front bumper. Just a really cool looking Gasser with a lot of nice details inside and out. Now this one is a borderline rat rod. You'll see some details here that are a little bit rat rodish, but this thing is a pretty cool hot rod too. It's got some big old slicks on the back. You'll see the rat rod details here, like that chain steering wheel with connecting rods, but you got some cool bomber seats. But this is what I was really looking at. Killer looking big block Chevy. It's got a bread box tunnel ram with a spacer plate in it, 2 Holley 4-barrel carburetors, big old tall valve covers. I'm assuming there's some good stuff under there. And of course, zoomy headers on this thing. It's got white wall tires. It's got a cool laid back grill shell, good chop on the top, channeled body, all the details you'd want with an old school hot rod. Up next is another Gasser. This is a 55 Chevy 210 two-door sedan. You'll notice they didn't cut the quarter panels out on this car. This car's got an excellent body on it. Even though it's got some surface rust, this thing is solid as it can be. So they didn't want to cut up those quarter panels, but they didn't mind cutting it up to put a straight axle under the front. It's got fender well headers, a rowdy small block in it, and just a really cool stance. I noticed a few of these aluminum bodied delivery vans. They obviously have custom chassis work underneath and air suspension so they can sit flat on the ground. This one is super cool looking. It's pretty big, but it's sitting low, and I'm sure it took a bunch of time to get it to look this good. And somebody really made that body look good too. I mean, these things got beat up from years of use, and this one looks real nice and straight. And you can't hide anything with bare aluminum. You can't mud it up and pretend that it's straight. This thing is actually pretty legit. All right, I like pro street cars and I like gassers, but I don't typically like pro street gassers. When you have a car that's got a straight axle in the front and it's jacked up in the front, I don't usually love a narrowed rear end with the tires tucked way up under it, but this is an exception. This is an early Falcon two-door station wagon, which all the Falcon purists are going to cry about that because it's a very rare car, a two-door station wagon, and somebody has cut the quarter panels out. They've put a straight axle under the front. It has a roll bar in it, and it has a pretty serious big block Chevy with a tunnel ram, 2.4s, big headers, all the normal Gasser stuff, including a big old aluminum tank in the front. They've had to cut out the front bumper to fit that in. But this thing's got a pretty cool look, I'll admit. For a pro street Gasser, this thing got my attention. Here's another rat rod, this time a pickup truck with some dually wheels and big old all-terrain tires. It's got a chop top. This looks to be like a late 40s, early 50s Ford cab. And then you got a turbo Cummins diesel up front. I always love to see pro street Corvettes because I know that the Corvette guys are just crying about this. This is a 64 Corvette convertible that's been completely cut up. They've put giant rear tires under the back of this thing. They've put a giant blower, carburetors, scoop. The whole combination is much higher than the roof. It's a crazy combination, but this is the type of stuff you see in Pigeon Forge for the Rod Run events. And this car had a crowd around it all weekend long, especially when he fired it up. Hot Rod Magazine coined the term dare to be different, and this is it right here. This is different. This is a Volvo station wagon that somebody has completely cut up. They put giant rear tires under the back to make a very wild and crazy pro street build. Sitting next to it is about a 46 through 48 Chevrolet Gasser. This car's got a real nice stance. You can see it's got a cast aluminum scoop screwed onto the hood. It's got your typical race car stuff on the inside and then some cool lettering back here that says Holy Grail. Then we got some drag radials and steel wheels tucked up under the back of it. This thing's set up really nice and I love the stance on it. All right, here's one of my favorite pieces from the Pigeon Forge Rod Run. I've never seen this car before and I do not know if this is the real deal or not. Somebody might need to school me on this. This is a 68 Camaro. You've got fender flares. And then look on the door here, it says Big Bubba Jones, and it's got an 8-ball lettered on there. This appears to be the car that was used in the movie Eat My Dust. It was made in 1976, and an interesting tie-in is that this car, if it is the original movie car, was built by Street Customs Limited in Garden Grove, California. That's the same people who built the crazy 70s custom 67 Camaro that I featured in a previous video. It's got the proper wheels, it's got the proper fender flares, you can see the lettering on there. I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me whether or not this is legit or not because it's tricking me. If this is a tribute or a recreation, somebody did an excellent job on it. But this car has a complete interior. You can see it's not real nice. It needs some work, but it's got bucket seats. It's got a floor shifted manual transmission. I'm assuming that's a 4-speed. It's got some good old school decals on the quarter windows. And then under the hood, I'm not real sure what I'm looking at here because I'm seeing a very old school small block. Not real sure exactly what the setup is here, but you'll see somebody has gone through and put a new carburetor on it, new ignition and stuff, but the outside of this thing is rough and it looks just like the car that was in the movie. The only thing I see that's different is that it doesn't have the big push bar on the front and it has some modern radial TA tires on it, but everything else looks like it's the real deal. The best part about it, I saw this car posted online for sale and it was cheap. $18,000 would buy this car and it ran and drove. So that's pretty cheap for a first generation Camaro, and it's certainly cheap if this is a real deal movie car. Speaking of movie cars, check out this little pickup truck. Now we watch Toy Story all the time and there's a cool little pizza delivery truck in that movie, and this is about as close as you're going to get to that animated movie. This is a really neat build. As a kid, going to Pigeon Forge meant that you were going to see really crazy pro street stuff and you were going to see a bunch of T-buckets. Now you don't see many T-buckets anymore, but I couldn't help but stop and look at this one, mainly because it has a set of magnesium American spindle mount wheels on it, but the rest of this stuff is period correct too. You can tell the paint's been on this thing a while. It's got a single 4-tunnel ram on that small block. The Mickey Thompson valve covers look great. The over-the-frame headers are looking good. They've turned a little bit, but that's what you want. That means you've driven it. Big old tires on the back, chrome front suspension, really neat setup, and of course, just like most of the things in Pigeon Forge, it was for sale. Now here's an odd combination, but I really liked it. I love Chevy Vegas, and this looks like a cream puff. This looks like it's straight out of the dealership. Look at how slick and clean this thing is. Original wheels, everything is just bone stock on this thing, and it's sitting on the back of a really cool 50s Chevy ramp truck. Now the Mustang II was not exactly a highlight of the Ford legacy, but they made some pretty cool cars during this era, including the King Cobra. This is a really good example. You see, we got plenty of room for a small block Ford in there, and this one's looking cool with those ground effects on the front, centerline wheels. This has got a good 80s look. Now here's an unusual pro street car. This is a Chrysler, I guess this is a K car. I don't really know much about the 80s Chryslers, but look at that roll cage in there. Looks pretty tight inside of this car, but it's got factory interior. Looks like a factory type paint job. It's got weld wheels, big old tires on the back, and of course under the hood is a small block Chevy engine. I'm not afraid to admit that I like old cars on 4-wheel drive truck frames. It's just a weird thing, sorry. But what I was really coming over here to look at was this Buick. This thing has got a cool looking stance. It's got bead locks on the back if you didn't already see that. LS motor with a Procharger. This thing is super cool looking. It doesn't look like it's tubbed out real crazy, but I bet it makes real serious horsepower. You definitely don't see many fully customized Jeep Wagoneers, and this one's pretty wild. It's got big fender flares, and then up here you can see twin turbos on an LS motor, a lot of custom fabrication. You'll see that slick firewall, a lot of body modifications. This thing's sitting right down on the ground. Crazy combination. Speaking of crazy, we got another one. This is an oval window Volkswagen Beetle, and it has been absolutely butchered and cut up into a custom hot rod. And when I say butchered, I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that it's just been cut up and made into something that it was never intended to be. Check out those tires and wheels. I mean, the stance on this thing is crazy. When it comes to the horsepower wars of the 1960s, this is one of the cars that's responsible for it. This is a 63 Chevrolet Biscayne 2-door post, and look at that. 409 under the hood. Now this isn't the dual quad 409, but it's still a pretty potent engine for the day. Here we go, wheelie bars, parachute, wing, big tires, weld drag light wheels. This is the combination for a Pigeon Forge Pro Street build. And look at this, this is actually right-hand drive. This is a little male Jeep, I guess, or I don't know the details of it, but it's right-hand drive and it's a Jeep. And let's see under the hood, let's see what we got. Is it a MOPAR? Is it a Ford? Nope. It's a small block Chevy with a nitrous kit on it. I bet this thing is scary to drive. Now here's an interesting one. This thing is lettered up just like an old Superstock car, or in this case, BFX, factory experimental car. This thing has all sorts of hand lettering details on it, including that Crane Cams logo up front. It's got a teardrop hood. It's got everything you'd want in a 60s drag car combination, except for the fact that it has torque thrust 2 wheels, which are not exactly period correct. But this thing is pretty cool to look at either way. It's just a few pieces away from being a really cool nostalgia drag car. Now I've never been a huge van guy, but they're really coming into popularity, and this one was very nicely built. You can see the lettering on this thing is very nicely done. The paint work, lots of custom details here, and somebody has really rubbed on this thing to make it this slick. It's got fender flares on it. It's got some true spoke wire wheels, and look at that grille. I mean, it is immaculate. And these things were known for getting wadded up. They're just aluminum up front. But look at the stance, look at the paint. Somebody poured a lot of effort into this old school van. All right, this one might get some sleepy yawns from the comment section, but I love it. It's a 68 Camaro, and it's got a 6-cylinder in it. Somebody has completely restored this car. Look at the beautiful paint work on this thing. Bright red, it's got 8-inch rallies on it. Such a cool car, and it's still got the original 230 cubic inch 6-cylinder engine backed by an automatic transmission. Now I found another obscure Camaro, this time a convertible, and look, it's wrecked in the back. We've got the original dealer logo on the back of it. This thing appears to be maybe a one repaint type of car. I don't know that that's original paint. I do know that's an original top, and the interior appears to be all original. But look up here, another 6-cylinder Camaro. This one has a 3-speed, but this thing is so cool. It's just bone stock and so simple. It's got rally wheels and redline tires, but otherwise this thing is just as stripped down as you can get. No console, no fancy features whatsoever, but this is how most of these cars were built back in the day. It was just hot rodders who yanked those 6-cylinders out and put V8s in them. Here's another Gasser, this time an early Mustang, and this car's got some pretty slick paint on it, white stripes, cowl induction hood, and you'll see it's got a straight axle on the front, sitting up real high, and it's got your typical Gasser wheel combination on it. Now you don't see a lot of MOPARs that have been given the Pro Street treatment, and this one has a pretty cool look to it. Bright red paint, torque thrust wheels on it, and then a killer blower setup. You can see that this thing's got a blower shop blower, 2 Edelbrock 4-barrels, and super tall velocity stacks. And looking in here, you can't see a whole lot, but that's actually an early Hemi. So like a 392 based Hemi in there. This thing has probably been mini tubbed to hold this size tire and wheel, but it's not fully crazy tubbed out like some of the other Pro Street builds you see. But it's got a very nice paint job on it. Very nicely done car. Here's another very tasteful Pro Street build. This is a 55 Chevy. It's got a cowl induction hood and a slick orange and cream paint job that really look good out in the sun. Built especially street light wheels. Good stance, nothing real crazy, no real radical changes. You'll see it does have a roll bar in there, but this thing is not one of those radical Pro Streets. It's very tastefully done. It's got a real good look to it. Sitting next to it was a pretty rare Nova. This thing is red with red steel wheels and dog dish caps, and look under the hood. This is a 396, power brakes, power steering, air conditioning, a fully loaded car, but you'll see they didn't load it with wheels and tires. It's got the plain Jane look on the outside, which I love. This is a great looking sleeper. Kind of looks like a Copo car, but I'm assuming it's your standard Super Sport 396, which is still pretty cool in my book. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of my favorite cars from the spring 2025 Pigeon Forge Rod Run. We're going to finish this video off with some cruising action. That's one of the things Pigeon Forge is known for, so let's check it out.